First you get the money, then you get the power. But Miami's crawling with cops who know who Tony is. So power doesn't come easy to a guy with a reputation like Tony's. Imagine if every pig on the street knew your face and knew that you were a huge drug dealer. They're gonna take notice if you pull out a gun and start shooting in the middle of the street. You're Tony fucking Montana. Anything you do wrong out in the open raises your cop heat. If the heat gets too high, the cops will come, chase you down, and harass you. So there's two options. You either pay down the heat before the cops show up, or you try to fast talk them when they do show up. One costs money, the other one risks money. You pay off the cops, the cop heat goes down automatically. You know ahead of time how much you're gonna lose. But let's say you just did a $5,000 deal. So you got $5,000 of dirty cash on you. And let's say you got 200 grams of coke. And you do something stupid like run over a little old lady when your heat was already high enough. And the cops show up and you fail your fast talk intimidation. They're gonna clean you out. They're gonna take all the grams of coke and all the dirty cash that are on you at that time. If you don't have any money, you can wreak havoc, right? The cops are gonna show up, you either intimidate them or you don't, but regardless, you're not losing any. But if you have a lot of money, you wanna be really careful. You might wanna pay down that cop heat so you can make it to the bank without getting pulled over. You pay down cop heat by going to the Empire page in your sat phone menu. You hold down L2 to bring up sat phone, you hit Empire, and the third option down is cop heat. You can actually pay down cop heat and gang heat separately. You gotta grease palms on both sides of the law. If I run amok in Miami and consistently wreak havoc, like I am right now, my cop heat will start to go up. This is represented by the white bar that's starting to fill up around the mini-map on the bottom left corner of my screen. You can see I'm hitting cars here, and that white bar is kind of filling up kind of quick, but not that quick. You can kind of drive like an idiot, and the cops really don't care. I mean, this is 1980s Miami. Everybody's either drunk or high. Cops don't care that much. They got bigger fish to fry. But when I start running over pedestrians, then they start to take a little more notice. People flying everywhere. But hitting a pedestrian, much worse than hitting a car. But my heat's still not going up fast enough to prove my point here. Go ahead and stop the car and pull out my gun. Since I have my gun out in a public street, that cop heat is going to start going up continuously just because I have a gun out. If I duck over here into this alley where nobody can see me and nobody sees what I'm doing, that heat stops going up and it actually starts going back down. Cops' awareness of me is lower. I'm going to go back out on the main street and start shooting. Now that I'm shooting, the cops are really starting to take notice. Everybody's running and screaming, bailing out, trying to save themselves. So here come the cops. Between me shooting at the gang members and the gang members shooting at me, you've got a major firefight on the street. Pedestrians are running for their lives. The cops show up. But here's the important part. When the cops show up, I put my gun away. If my gun was still out when the cops showed up, they would shoot on sight. But since I put my gun away, they just walk up to me to talk to me. And when they just walk up to talk, they intimidate Tony. You have the option to fast talk them and say, hey, I'm Tony Montana, leave me alone. Don't you got a donut to go eat over there? I successfully fast talk the cops and they go away. They leave me alone this time around. They don't take my money, they don't shake me down, they just go about their business. Had I unsuccessfully fast talked them, had I failed this intimidation, they would have cleaned me out. So if you notice, my cop heat was at about 75% there. The white meter was around to the 9 o'clock position. Had the white line completely encircled the map and gotten up to 12 o'clock, a blue line would start to go around over the white one, around the same circle. That's when the cops are officially after you in force and they're not taking any shit. If you don't get away before the blue line completely circles the map, a helicopter and the DEA will both show up and you'll be dead in seconds. It's just a hail of bullets. You'd have to be Superman to get out of it. It's really just smarter to fast talk the cops or escape than let it get to that point where they all show up. There's also no paying off cop heat at that point. Like, you've gone too far and they're gonna take you out. Now I'll get into a gunfight out in the open with this gang nest. My cop heat goes up really fast and my gang heat's also going up because I'm killing gang members. I'm gonna quickly pay off the gang heat I just incurred by killing those gang members because I don't want to mess with them right now. If the cops are already on me, last thing I need is the other gang members to be on me too. So I go into my sat phone, go to the Empire page, scroll down to heat, and I pay off the gang members. I think it's $2,000 I'm going to pay off. So the gang's not bothering me anymore, but instead of also paying off the cops, I'm going to try to escape this time. So I just get in my car and you see the cop badge icon on the mini map with the red circle around it. I have to escape that red circle. I have to get away from the area where the cops are. So I'm just gonna jump in my muscle car here and speed off. And if I get far enough away, and I do get far enough away this time, I escape. So I didn't have to intimidate them and I didn't have to pay them off. I just escaped, which was my plan C. As I'm driving and running around Miami, run over every pedestrian I see, bash into every car I see, be shooting people up all over the place, but I'm going to be continuously gaining cop heat and gang heat. I'll just keep paying off the cop heat, don't even have to mess with cops. But it's a lot more cost effective to either fast talk them or get away, because all the money that I could be spending on exotic and new cars and guns, I'm spending on cop heat instead. Why spend all my money on that? It's just a money pit. It's endless.
I'm Tony fucking Montana!